Good morning, Senna, and good morning to your team. I hope you are all doing well.
We are well, and I hope you are too.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, great. First, let's start with your impressions of what happened on Saturday in terms of the way people conducted themselves. Did you have any reservations? It was largely peaceful.
I think generally the um, primaries um, were run, I mean, peacefully. The elections. I can't think of any incident bordering on violence. So we're all hoping that it will be peaceful, free, and fair elections. Um, and that's what happened. And it shows that we can, uh, unlike the previous, elections that we used to have violence, this one came peacefully. And we have to uh, probably give praises to the contestants and the party for organizing this peaceful election, and as well as the electoral commission that was responsible and managed the election so well, and the security services as well.
What about the outcome?
Senna, we spoke before the Saturday, and without doing any post, I kind of thought that Baumia had the edge over the other candidates, as I indicated. Yeah, the polls were interesting. Global analytics, as usual, predicted correctly, but there were other polls that were predicting victory for Honorable Kennedy Japan. And that really was far off the mark as the turnout or the results on Saturday illustrate. Uh, those who were predicting victory for Kennedy Japan just got it wrong. And that's why I was telling you before the Saturday that, based on the sampling methods and even the politics of uh, polling, can actually lead to a situation where people will just present results just to, please or just to change or mitigate what you were describing as voters who probably sometimes want to vote and to vote for the one who will win and not the one who will lose. It looks like most of the polls that were suggesting that Honorable Kennedy Japan was going to win, just they just got it wrong. At the end of the day, as usual, global info analytics polls were very quite accurate. And I think if I have to talk about the what the how the contestants behaved, both the winner and the losers, I can go on to talk about that if you have time.
Mm. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I one of the key qualities of a Democrat or somebody who believes in democracy or a democratic leader is to be gracious in defeat and then the winner being magnanimous in victory. And that is what we witnessed on Saturday. The four contestants who lost congratulated the former vice president on his victory, and he too also, and in his acceptance speech, preached unity and also was very magnanimous in in celebrating his victory. He reached out to the the losing candidates and then invited them to come along and they build a party to contest the 2028 election. And I thought this was very, good of them, so that they are really democratic leaders if given the chance to lead this country.
Hmm. I see. There. Okay, so there are those who are okay. So first, let me talk about some other aspects of the results. What do you think this kind of result means to the future ambitions and aspirations of Kennedy and Japan? First of all,
Well, I think it could mean that, two things. I think it didn't turn out as the way he wished, and the performance, if I remember well, didn't even match with his first attempt. So, in this sense, if you are to judge by the fact that he really performed badly this time, it might be a warning to him that, or a bad sign that things are not looking good for him as a presidential candidate. I think, or he might be thinking that, well, I came second, and it looks like next time, in case after 2028, if the MPP doesn't win, he might be motivated by the fact that he has marketed himself, and I think after 2028, if they don't win, then the field will be open, and he will be one of the most well-known contestants. So he might like to, capitalize on that, and then say that he will contest again, or he may look at, you know, what has happened in the two attempts and say he's not doing that well. I think it is Brian Champon who surprised everybody, and I think he has the momentum in future primaries. So I don't know how he might take it. Maybe he has his advisors who advise him the next steps to take.
you think Brian Champo is the one who clearly has a future based on the results?
Yeah, because nobody expected him to perform as he did, and he actually surprised. If I listened to the commentaries, and most people thought that he did very well, and he seems to be somebody who has the resources, and maybe he's not a maverick like Kennedy and Japan that people describe. He's a typical politician, thinks he's very strategic. And I think, he seems to have a future in the party when it comes to being a presidential aspirant of their party.
I see. What next for the MPP? What do you think they should be focusing on? Because they will now have to do the reorganization.
Yes, they have a lot of reorganization to do. They are now going to, now go to the grassroots, bottom up reorganization. This election was top down. So all that will involve a lot of, can either undo or promote the agenda of the party to win in 2028 as the thing they want to do, because this elections reorganization and the election of polling and other executive positions will definitely be another source of acrimony and factions and wranglings within the party. So hopefully they come out clean and very strong throughout that process. Otherwise, it's going to further worsen the factions, the factionalism in the party. But as I always said, this is normal stuff in politics. You It's a tough game. People compete and compete keenly, and in our part of the world, it's like a zero-sum game, and they deploy all kinds of tactics in attempts to win. So this is nobody can predict what will happen, but if history is any guide, I think most the NDC and the MPP normally go through these processes. There will be breakaways and factions, but they normally come out solid and still contest elections and keep being the two parties that are dominant in Ghanaian electoral politics. So I think the future is out there. We can't predict, but hopefully they will come out strong. I think the biggest challenge is whether their flag bearer is the best candidate to contest the NDC in 2028. I think that one is open to debate. We'll see how it goes.
I see. That's quite an interesting because there are those who feel it's quite a tall order for them, and they feel that at this stage what they have done is to put the party in the hands of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia to shape as he pleases. And that shaping process could alienate a lot of people and so further deepen the cracks within the party. Do you think that is where they are? And from studying Dr. Baumia, is that what you suspect he would do?
I don't see him as somebody who will like to deepen the cracks as you describe it. But bear in mind that he has advisors, he has followers, and it will depend on him to, come across as a transformational leader, and then see how he can lead the party and reorganize it and probably unite all the factions together, because that is what he needs to be able to contest the 2028 election and to even, begin to think that he's capable of contesting the first place, let alone to talk about winning. Because and that's the biggest, the perhaps the actual task for the NPP. So I think one can think of spoilers in the party, people who are great, who would like him to just probably fail, and so that a new chapter begins after 2028. So he has to watch out and see how to deal with that situation. But as I said, this is what politics is about. It's about competition. It's about conflict. But going forward, how to resolve the conflict is what he has to deal with as a leader of the party. So I hope that he will take the necessary steps to do what would be favorable to him, which is that he has to unite the party. If he wants to capitalize on the fact that he's now the leader, and for that matter can, shape the reorganization in such a way that he becomes something like a personalistic leader of the party, that is going to be really bring a lot of trouble, because this is a party that has been organized on institutions, rules. So it's an institution, and for that matter, I don't think anybody can just commandeer it and then serve his personal purpose. So I think that party and the NDC, they have passed that kind of personalistic, approach to organizing parties.
Probably our history
Because
does
of
not speak to that, because if you look at what happened before Nana became president in 2016, though you see a consistent pattern of somebody who was insisting on having particular people man the party for him going into the elections. So it has been done before.
Yes, it has been done before in both the NDC and the NPP, and that's why I said it will depend on the the strategy of the leader or his own personal traits as a leader. I think Nanado did this not just, and we saw what he did when he was in power, and that is why he's Nanado. I mean, he's that kind of leader. But I think, and before, yeah, they all always, each of them will always want to have somebody, people that, are loyal to them. But the extent to which you go in doing that will vary from one leader to the other. So when you want to reach the extent to which each of them want to control the party as their personal political machine, you see that Nanado went overboard compared to the previous presidential candidate. And everybody has said, tend to think that Bawumia is that type of person who is very humble. He tries to, build consensus and all that. I have not done any research to find out whether this is true or not, but this is what people think. And I'm hoping that he will reorganize or lead in a way that will build unity in the party rather than taking control of the party as a personal something, instrument to serve his own purpose, his own personal purpose.
Prof, thank you. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you.
Professor JASPER ABEMBIA AYELAZUNO is Associate Professor of Political Science, UDS, University of Development Studies. SM,